with the people that can help you.
Thank you.
So thank you. Get out of here. Go to
All
work.
right. Thanks. Bye.
Man, tough love, Russ.
Well,
Tough love.
he's got a job, you know.
Yeah. He does have to go to work.
He's got stuff.
That wouldn't be a good way to start it off, huh?
He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got to go do that.
It's like, I won, I quit.
Besides,
I'm quitting.
I promised Mitch that I would talk to him this morning. Mitch came in this morning. I had to have the mic. And Mitch, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, man?
A little bit sleepy, but here.
And of course, Mitch wanted to comment. I mean, you and I haven't really talked at all since the meeting last night. There was a meeting last night at the Yuma County Airport Authority that I was really positive about. I was. And let me tell you, I sat over by Mr. Workman, who's a nice guy. I liked him. I liked him. I liked the fact that Craig Williams reached out and talked to me the other day. I like the fact that I'm going to see some openness or whatever. And my concern that I talked to Craig Williams about was I felt intimidated a little bit, like the airport authority was using a little bit of a hammer and maybe coming after my First Amendment rights to talk about problems, issues, whatever that I see with the airport. And he assured me to not, we're not after anybody.
Well, how did you feel after that meeting?
Well,
as opposed to
right up and before I walked out, the meeting
after the airport authority meeting.
The meeting was ready to go to executive session last night, and they discussed a lot of positive things going on at the airport about turnstiles and parking and ramps and access for public and all that stuff, which is great, and I felt good about all that. And then right before we went to executive session, the lawyer Wayne Benish said, "Hold it, I got something to say before we go to executive session." So he, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, that's right, you do." And he got up and talked, and what he talked about was a definition of defamation. And it kind of surprised me because where's it going with this?
And then they bring up the website.
Well, they did. They talked specifically about the website on the Watchdog Yuma. What's the name of the airport?
The Yuma Airport Watchdog.com.
And they talked about that, how they found out who was doing it, because it was an anonymous website. They talked about how they went to GoDaddy or whatever and found out that it was indeed, was it Joe Gemis?
Oh, and I think he had already published that
before.
He
had already said that. But
if he really wanted to be sneaky, he could have registered under some other name.
But what the attorney talked about was the fact that the definition of defamation is untruths and causing harm to an organization or whatever, or a person or whatever,
I think he also said loss of profit or
or inability to whatever. I'm not one of the guys taping it. I know
with their business.
I know you guys all tape it. I don't tape anything. I don't know, but I was saddened by it. I guess saddened, but that it seemed heavy-handed again because it is
it didn't seem consistent with what Craig told you earlier, did it?
Well, Craig told me he wasn't after me by any means, and I was assuming that maybe not everybody.
Well,
that he had no.
You and Craig talked about me too,
but he wasn't after you. I didn't get any indication that he's after Mitch or me for being on the air and talking about the airport authority, and of course my goal and my desire on this radio show is release of information and transparency, particularly on our government agencies and our airport authority, which we're spending millions of dollars in taxpayers. That we just need to know as taxpayers that it's being used wisely, that it's being done. And I don't always agree, which is fine, but I want to get that information out there on what they're doing, what they're not doing. But I've always felt uneasy about the airport, like they're heavy-handed, which. They
gave you no reason to change your opinion. I don't think
I don't know how it ended up. Here's the way it ended up.
Benish's address gave me no.
Benish felt like that in his address. He alluded to that website crosses a line in his opinion. That a website meets with his definition of whatever defamation, and he recommended that the board vote to take action, whatever that action is. He didn't specify any of that, but he recommended that the board do that. Yeah. Now my question is, I left.
There was some invective there. It sounded like to me.
I left.
There's some emotion.
I had to get over to another party. I was at Russ Jones's house with Attorney General Tom Horn was there, which he'll be in here in an hour. Attorney General will be in here in an hour to talk about some of the issues he's working on, some of the things he's doing. But my concern was.